Hello, I'm Raisa Tommy of the Indonesia channel in Jakarta, and this is your weekly look at the dynamic Southeast Asia region. Myanmar is expecting a smooth transition to a new government as Thein Sein steps down at the end of the month. A new president will lead the country from April 1st with candidates from the National League for Democracy. That party swept elections in November, winning 80% of elected seats in parliament. NLD leader Suu Kyi is presently barred by law from the presidency because of having children of foreign nationalities, but she is expected to be the power behind the office. Thein Sein was one of the few leaders missing from the first US-ASEAN Summit held in California in mid-February. A major focus was rebalancing Asia, and as ASEAN Today's Nata Kamalvardhan reports from the summit site, the US foreign policy will remain the same after Obama leaves office.
President Barack Obama shakes hands with leaders from ASEAN after discussion for 2 days at Sunnylands, the first time in history of the US-ASEAN meeting on US soil. The meeting is exactly at the same location where Obama hosted Chinese President Xi Jinping 3 years ago. Obama, who will finish his second term by the end of this year, aims at strengthening ties with ASEAN as strategic partners in trade, security, and foreign policy of pivot to Asia. President Obama has a press briefing on the outcome of the 2-day special summit. Sunnyland's declaration contains 17-point statement that mentions strengthening democracy, good governance, and promotion of human rights. Freedom of navigation and maritime security appear an obvious reference to the South China Sea, an issue that divides countries in ASEAN. A group of protesters from ASEAN gathered outside the Sunnylands estate to voice their concerns on different issues like TPP, democracy, and human rights. The ASEAN and American leaders hailed this summit as historic and successful, but the real test of its success will depend on whether the so-called ASEAN People's Spirit will get a real boost in terms of concrete actions.
Nata Kamalvardhan for ASEAN Today, Sunnylands, California.
We will hear from one of the business leaders at the summit, AirAsia's Tony Fernandez, later in our Hot Seat segment. Major military partners renewed ties in Thailand. The 35th U.S.-Thailand Cobra Gold Joint Military Exercise kicked off on February 9th at the Royal Thai Marine Corps base in Sattahip. More than 8,000 soldiers from 27 countries participated and observed. The event this year emphasized coordination with civil authorities in areas such as humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. Cobra Gold is the largest Asia-Pacific military exercise held each year. A unique Chinese dish has increasingly boosting prosperity of restaurant owners in celebration of the Lunar New Year in Malaysia and Singapore. ASEAN Today's Wendy Widiantini explains more.
Communities around the world celebrated the Lunar New Year that fell in early February this year. Families and friends observed the Year of the Monkey with both traditional and modern ways. In Malaysia, a unique Chinese dish called Yi Sang has increasingly become a tradition among the Chinese community, as big as lanterns and the lion dance, meant to usher in a prosperous Lunar New Year.
We are happy, and the higher we move, that signifies that everything will go better and better, higher and higher. This year is better than last year, and every year we will hope to be more prosperous. Maybe we also wish the economy to be better than last year, and we also talk about better exchange rate.
Also known as Lo Sang or the Prosperity Toss, it originated in South China. Made from selection of shredded vegetables and seafood items, including exotic fare such as gui duck, Yi Sang's 27 ingredients bear symbolic significance. Participants mix the ingredients by tossing them into the air with chopsticks, while calling out their auspicious hopes for the coming year.
We believe in prosper thy neighbor. It's no fun to be rich by yourselves, is it? So we want everybody to be prosperous together. I think that is the whole crux of doing it together.
The practice also boosts the prosperity of restaurant owners, including Thai and Japanese shops, on the days around the Lunar New Year. A plate of yisang costs up to 170 ringgits or $40.
个年之中呢，我们是说过年前2个星期卖鱼生呢是卖1个月，应该是4500碟。
In spite of the economic turmoil in Malaysia, the enthusiasm for yisang was very high. In fact, it made people toss the dish that much higher in hopes for a better year. Wendy Widiantini for ASEAN Today.
More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly. In the hot seat, AirAsia CEO Tony Fernandez and his view of ASEAN integration. That's ahead. You're watching ASEAN Today. I'm Raisa Chantami in Jakarta. An important part of the US-ASEAN Summit in California was a gathering of major business leaders. Giants from ASEAN's private sector met with American counterparts and potential investors. ASEAN Today's Natha Kamalvadan sat down with high-flying CEO of Malaysia's AirAsia, Tony Fernandez, for his take on the opportunities in the AEC.
What do you think is the most difficult challenge for ASEAN community or ASEAN economic community to convince American investors to invest in ASEAN?
Well, a great question. I think from the panel out there, everyone's asking to deal with one country as opposed to 10 countries. So I think an opportunity for ASEAN is to have one set of rules. So if you want to invest in one country, you don't have to go to 10 different applications. You can invest in one country, all 10 markets through ASEAN. I think that would be a big plus. So I think the challenge for ASEAN is two things. One is the ASEAN Secretariat needs to be funded more. ASEAN needs to find a new way of funding the ASEAN Secretariat. And two, is it cannot be everyone agrees. To get all 10 countries to agree to everything is going to be difficult. So I would encourage ASEAN to not just look at ASEAN 10, but if 8 countries want to do it, then let's do it. Let's move it along.
And what would be the most appealing sector in ASEAN that should attract American investors?
Wow, that's a good question, but I think there are many areas. Food, I think technology, I mentioned it on stage just now. Tourism, obviously, I think there's a huge opportunity in tourism. And financial services, and even professional side of businesses.
What about airlines?
Airlines, I think airlines would be great for investment. I think when you say airlines, there's 2 or 3 types. There's MRO, maintenance repair organization, parts. I think ASEAN has a huge opportunity. Thai International has a fantastic MRO facility in Bangkok, which could do more work, and given the right investment, Thai could be fixing planes from America, could be fixing planes from Europe. I think investment into airlines, I really am pushing for foreign ownership to be taken away. If an American airline wants to merge with Thai Airways or with AirAsia, why not? As long as it's good for people. You know, you have American banks, you have American telecommunication companies. Why not they invest in airlines as well? But ASEAN should look at changing the ownership rules and maybe allow more foreign ownership.
But would that mean more challenges for AirAsia? Because if you have opened up more markets, you will have more intense competition in the region.
Wow, you know, from when I started, we have even more competition. There's a lot more. There's so many animal-owned airlines. There's so many different things, right? There's birds, there's lions, there's tigers, all kinds of things. But hey, if you want to be a big boy, you have to be the best, and you shouldn't be afraid of competition. Look at America. I think America is a fantastic example, certainly in most industries, of allowing competition to make them the best. And we shouldn't protect. And if AirAsia has to compete with American-owned airlines, then so be it. We'll compete.
In terms of TPP, American seems very much concerned what would be the condition among ASEAN countries to really open up for TPP. How do you see, because right now there is 2 divisions, 4 members have already joined, but the country like Thailand still hasn't joined. What should be the stance of Thailand in this regard?
Well, I mean, I think trade openness is inevitable. And here's a great example. You have 3 countries in ASEAN joining. The other ASEAN countries are kind of forced to look at it. That's why I say it doesn't have to be all of ASEAN to do everything. So now Thailand will look at it. I certainly think Thailand will benefit from more liberalization and more openness. Thailand has actually been one of the most open countries in ASEAN way before TPP. So I don't necessarily just think TPP. I think all liberalization of trade and non-trade barriers is good for our economies and good for the people of ASEAN.
At the summit, Fernandez was honored with the 4th Pillar Award by the U.S. ASEAN Business Council for his cross-Pacific contributions. More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly. Riding on converted rice paddies in Cambodia. That attraction next. This is ASEAN Today, coming to you from the home of the ASEAN Secretariat. New technologies in Singapore is helping those with disabilities live more normal lives.
What he does is he has a flat bed.
New technologies are helping persons with disabilities live independently and work efficiently in Singapore. The finger reader is a ring that reads words allowed as you slide your finger along them and can be used to read business cards, menus, book titles, and currency notes. It is helpful to people who are visually impaired. The finger reader has gone through several upgrades since its first prototype. The latest version of it is months away from small volume manufacturing. The first batch of the product will be distributed to people who are visually impaired in the United States and Singapore.
For example, finger reader, if you are blind, you can use it to read text and pick the right thing. If you are sighted, maybe you can use it as a translator to help you when you are traveling. Maybe you are a kid, you can use it as a language learning tool. So it has use cases. So me wearing finger reader doesn't classify me being disabled. So in a way, the technology is helping to make communities connected.
Other projects of the lab include the vibrating chair that helps people with hearing disabilities feel music and the portable ear that alerts people when someone knocks on the door.
Enabling Village is an inclusive community space that is dedicated to persons with disabilities, and we seek to provide a whole host of services, career advisory, assistive technology advisory to persons with disabilities. Technology in particular is a very, very useful platform for persons with disabilities to leverage more and to fully realize their potential at the workplace.
In the newly launched Enabling Village, people with disabilities can try out and borrow the latest gadgets that help them live more independently and work more efficiently. Singapore has been working to build a more inclusive society where people with disabilities are integrated and can make contributions. Experts believe that technologies play an important role in achieving that goal. Here are several events on the ASEAN calendar. The multi-platinum pop opera quartet Il Divo will take the stage at the Star Theatre in Singapore on April 4th. The Songkran Festival 2016 will be held in Chiang Mai, Thailand from April 13th to the 15th. And the mother of Filipino festivals, the Aliwan Festival, will be held on April 23rd in Pasay City. Missionaries in Cambodia are hoping to spread their message through an innovative water sport. ASEAN Today's Fauzal Azim has that story.
At newly opened Cam Air Wake Park, around 15 kilometers north of Cambodian capital Phnom Penh, a crew of wakeboarders skim the water, pulling ollies, back rolls and flips. A generator-powered rope and pulley system suspended between two 7-meter towers at either end of a converted rice paddy pull the riders through the water at speeds of up to 40 kilometers per hour. The wake park was set up as a non-profit business by two missionaries from Texas in the United States, who are hoping to draw people to their Christian faith through doing work that benefits community.
We came here as the wake park with a purpose, and we're the only one in the world that we know of that came here to do good.
The name Cam Air is named after Khmer, the most spoken language in Cambodia. By providing employment, they currently have 2 Cambodian staff and also hopes to help young people become role models in their communities. Established in March 2015, the business uses 2-tower cable system because it's cheaper than using boats and easier for beginners. Though expats are currently the park main customers, more Cambodians are starting to take up the sport.
We like to get people out and teach them to wakeboard. I want them to leave feeling really good about themselves because maybe they didn't before they came in. So that's kind of what we're about.
It's clean, it's green, it's awesome. I love that.
Wakeboarding at Cam Air is by appointment only and costs $20 an hour on weekdays and $30 an hour on weekends, with lessons thrown in for free. Fauzul Azim for ASEAN Today.
We like hearing from you throughout the ASEAN region and the world. Casper in Denmark tweeted this: "We need to pay attention, ASEAN is moving." So right, Casper, and the world is noticing. Let us know what you're thinking or what you want to see on the program. Email us at ASEANTodayTV@gmail.com, post something on our Facebook page, or tweet us at ASEANTodayTV. Love was in the air in Manila just ahead of Valentine's Day. This was a mass wedding for 350 couples, all seeking eternal happiness. The joint ceremony was officiated by Manila Mayor and former President Joseph Estrada. Mass weddings are popular in the Philippines as a way for couples who can't afford a ceremony to share the joy. And that's ASEAN Today for this week. I'm Raisa Chantami of the Indonesia channel in Jakarta. Terima kasih. Please join us again next time.